since I was a little girl. So why not try to make my side hobby something that I now can make money off of? So it first started off with me posting just one cake. That was my Banana-licious pudding cake. And from that point, I then added a Reese's cake. Then I started selling banana cheesecake bread. And that took off like crazy. I was getting orders from left and right. On barely almost couldn't even keep up with it for myself. The only drawback was when I had first started, I was living at home and my aunt was not playing about me being in her kitchen like that. So then I had to regroup and I had to come up with a blueprint of how I'm going to continue to bake when she's talking about I can't use her kitchen. You can't have baked goods and not have a kitchen. You got to have a kitchen.
It's Tuesday!
Stuff, but when you become an entrepreneur, you literally have to be everything. You have to be the one your promotions. You got to do the marketing. You got to do the sales strategy. You got to make the product. You got to do the packaging. You got to do the shit. Like you're everything. You know, you think about a business, how they have this person for this, that person for this actual function over here. They do that. 7 people handle marketing. You literally are doing everything. And it could be very overwhelming. And that's where I found myself when I said earlier on, like I was starting to get anxiety. I was starting to get depression because I'm like, it's one thing for me just do one thing solo or one thing in solitude, but to have to do everything at once, it was very much overwhelming, you know? So like I was saying, everything gonna work out in due time. And I'm very
That's right.
made the decision to do this full time. And I commend you. You know what I'm saying? I hope to one day just be full-time entrepreneur. I know that I'm gonna get there one day. So to have someone like you to look up to and to get advice from, very much a blessing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. She does a really good job. I don't know how she juggles it all, but she does. So absolutely, Taylor
The
needs to be
Lord.
commended.
The
There you
Lord.
go. There it
Thank
is. That's right. Almighty.
Right.
I wanted to ask you, Arlene, about your flavors and how did you come up with your flavored breads and cheesecakes and the waffles? How did you come up with all these ideas
well,
and
probably my
flavor combinations?
yeah, probably my upbringing. I was just thinking like, okay, what are some of the things I liked a lot growing up? What were some of those, those soul food dessert dishes? I'm like, I love banana pudding, but I'm like, some desserts I feel like cater to certain audiences. Like if I'm selling sweet potato pie, I'm gonna get some of the older folks or that old school banana pudding, the older folks. But I'm like, on my Facebook, my audience, they're younger people. Are they gonna? I know they'll like it, but how would that appeal to them? How can I make a product that kind of holds tradition but still can appeal to a younger audience? So that's why I kind of made like those fusion products. I did like a banana pudding cheesecake bread. I made a banana pudding cake and I start making peach cobbler egg rolls. Now some of the stuff of course I would see on Instagram or different chefs I would follow. And some things I tried to be like, okay, they did this, but how can I do that and still make it sweet fantasy and make it my own? So a lot
Mhm.
of that came from that too. And one product in mind was my peach cobbler tacos. I seen something online and it looked, I don't know what it was. It was like this chalupa thing and it had peaches in it. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I'm inspired. I'm going to make something called a peach cobbler taco.
Ah,
And my other products in the beginning that definitely took off and it was a very tedious product too because I had to make the homemade dough, had to roll it out, I had to fry it, then I had to make the peach cobbler filling, then I had to make the icing that go on top. Then on the weekends I was getting people calling me, hey, can I get this, get that? And I'll have to like make it on spot. So here I am rolling dough, because this is fried product, so it's nothing that can just sit out. People got to get this hot and fresh out the press. So I'm like, man, this product is tedious. I don't know if I can just keep making these tacos all day. That was one product I kind of, people ask for it still, but I don't make it. They don't realize I ain't doing all
all
that.
right. Before you go any further, tell people how they can follow you on social media.
So you guys can follow me on Facebook at Sweet Fantasy Michigan. I'm also on Instagram, same thing, _ Sweet Fantasy Michigan. You can Google Sweet Fantasy Michigan. It will pop up. My website is under construction, so you can't look at it just yet, but I'm going to have it up try to have it up by the end of the month. Again, it's just me trying to do everything. As you guys know, these things take time. So yes, follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram. You can Google me, Sweet Fantasy Michigan. If you had my product and haven't left me a review, please leave me a Google review of what you'd had. And yes, but thank you. So getting back to like the other products, like the waffles. I don't know. I've seen some waffle. It was a chocolate waffle. I'm like, oh, that's cute. You know, if I'm gonna make a dessert waffle, I just don't want to serve a chocolate waffle. Then it was around the fair season. I'm like, I used to have those deep fried Oreos at the fair. I'm gonna make a chocolate waffle. I'm gonna put deep fried Oreos on the top. Then I'm gonna drizzle chocolate on it and call it a dessert waffle. So just being inspired and thinking about things I've ate, things I enjoyed, and how to like fuse it with something unique, exotic, and creative is pretty much how I'm inspired, because I'm a little crazy and exotic and
I want to say your food is absolutely delicious, and sometimes she makes like the waffles and she puts like little bites of cheesecake on top, and Lord Jesus, I was like eating and my children, and like you ever be like yeah, I'm gonna eat this by myself. They ain't gonna ask for nothing, right? So I'm like, I'm gonna get them something from over here, and then I'm gonna go to Arlene's. And they're like, why are we sitting here? And what is we waiting on? And I'm like, chill, eat your food and enjoy. Savor your moment, because when it's come out, I don't want to share. And so instantly, I give them their food, and we're waiting, and they're like, what's she giving you? I'm like, leave me alone. And so like now they're like, oh, we gotta taste it. And so of course I gave them like majority of it, but I kept some for myself. But we all like loved it. It was really delicious. You do a great job.
Oh, thank you.
Very good job.
Thank you, young one. That was I don't know how I got inspired by that one. But I think I had a funnel cake. I had a cheesecake funnel cake before, and it had like strawberries and had cheesecake bites on it. That was pretty much it. But I knew I had made like a strawberry crumble before, and I was like, I wonder how I can fuse this with a waffle. And that's literally what I do. I find like different desserts and just find a way to fuse them together. Pretty much how I'm inspired.
Nice. So is that now your signature, the waffles, instead of the other items, or?
They're kind of like, I don't think one is over the other. It just depends on the audience. I have some people that request chicken and waffles, and they turn around and request a cake in the same instant. So it's pretty much 50-50 or 100-100. They're pretty equal now. And especially with me not doing the chicken and waffles, I get a lot more requests because people aren't seeing. It's funny because since they don't see it, they're not requesting it, which is weird. Maybe they're like, where's she at? Do we have to like ask, by ourselves? Because I don't see her promote. So more people are asking like, where are the chicken and waffles? Little do they know, when I was doing the chicken and waffles, I was operating under the cottage food law, trying to do my baking, but you can't sell chicken and actual food like that when you're cooking out of like your house. So some people didn't realize like I was somewhat breaking the law, doing them chicken and waffles. And I had a conversation with the Small Business Association of Michigan, whatever. They were like, yeah, Arlene, I don't know how they found out. Somebody must have told. And they was like, you're not supposed to be doing, selling chicken. That's technically illegal. You have to do that out of commercial kitchen. And I'm like, and you have to have this and that to do it too, different licenses and selling stuff. And I'm like, oh, they're like, you can continue working under the cottage food law for your baking, but you can't sell chicken and stuff. And it's a fine. I said, fine. Now you start messing with my money. Oh, you business.
Right? It's different.
That's not different.
We're not having no chicken and waffles. We'll have waffles, but not chicken.
You ain't gonna have no chicken and waffles. Then I'm like, me just, because I guess what happened was I seen so many other people doing it. And me doing my research prior on, I didn't see anything against it until it was hard for me to actually like say, oh, let me look even further into this. I'm like, oh, I can't just be selling chick even with no safe serve, no LLC, and nothing. You got to be in the actual commercial kitchen to be dealing with that kind of food, meats and stuff. So some people don't realize, that I ain't cooking that because I ain't trying to get fined. I have bigger dreams and I don't want some short, hold up to keep me from doing what I really want to do. I'd rather just put that on the back burner, until I can do it legally and to the scale I want to too. And everything was about timing. I think I needed them to tell me that because at that point I was actually just overwhelmed with it. So when they said that, I was like, good. I kind of needed an excuse to stop because it had you told me that, I would have even been wearing myself out even more, trying to do these chicken and waffles, knowing it was kind of too much for me.
Mhm.
And I think the other thing was, like, I'm in a livable workspace, so it's set up like a storefront. People try to walk in my place all the time because it's a slash store, it's a slash place for me to live. And I had this whole street lined up like the Grand Central Station, just with me in here cooking. And people, my neighbors are like, girl, what are you down there doing? What are you really selling? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm just selling chicken and waffles. They was like, girl, you have this whole street. You got workers, I hope. I'm like, no, it's just me. They was like, you gonna pay nobody? I'm thinking like they don't understand. Like, I make enough for me, but I don't make enough for extra help just yet.
Right.
Especially when you think about like your overhead, like the electricity I have to run, because I had a commercial fryer set up in here and that was really running up my electricity, and just the waffle irons and stuff like that. I'm like, about time I pay myself and got to pay for the how much it costs for me to even be in this space. And on top of that, I don't know if I can afford help right now. I'm at that weird between stage. Like, I'm got too much business for myself, but not making enough to be hiring people. So yeah, I needed them to tell me to stop. So
But on that note, reach out to your state minority business division. I don't know what it's called up there in Michigan, but definitely they love these type of stories. They want to give you money to hire and all that. Whether it is a high school person that needs some hours, to graduate high school, maybe it's a college culinary person that needs the experience. So be sure to reach out to your agencies, whatever state you're in out there in the internet land. Make sure you reach out to your state agencies of business. And if you are a minority woman, a veteran, or anything like that, they have money set aside for people just like you in business. So don't forget to reach out to them because they have to use it. They have to use that money.
well, let me go after. And that's the other thing too. Thank you so much, Tamala. There is so much free money out here just waiting for us, and thank you for bringing that up. So yes, I'm definitely going to try to go after that, especially because I've made up my mind to do my best to try to have more things in motion by summer of 2023, trying to get my food truck and stuff. So I'm definitely need to keep that in mind and put that on my list of things to do, is to reach out to them. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, Tamala is she won't say it, but she also has like a business degree and she does like many things to help out a lot of people. And so sometimes I'm just talking to her. Like one day I was like, I'm not going to tell Tamala I'm crying, but I was really pretty much crying because I was like, I don't know what to do. And then she's like, well, you just need to do this, this, and this. And I was like, no, can't be that simple, Tamala.
It,
Just
that's the
can't do that simple. And she was
somebody
like,
heck
yeah,
wait, pay
it is.
somebody. All right.
She's like, "Okay, you just need to do this, this, and this. I'll call them for you." And I was like, "What?" But it just helpful to have people in your corner that have done things before or have gone ahead of you, and just are able to offer you those resources that as minorities we most of the time don't feel like we have when it's a lot of people who have like a business mind and they're like, I have these things in order. Like that list when I got my LLC. All right, now I got 5 things done on this list. Now I can start applying for, grants or loans and different things like that. But if you just don't know and you're like, I'm not going to say anything or I'm not going to ask anybody, then you'll just continue to be, stuck in that place. But she's a great help. A great,
Wow.
great
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you. I have a little tear here, but thank you. I
Yeah,
try.
that is always helpful, having people that are super resourceful and know, because you can sometimes do all the research in the world, but some things are like you just can't Google. Like some people like know stuff, you know what I mean? That you may run into trying to find, you know, you won't even know what to search to look for that thing. You're like, oh, I didn't even know something like that even existed, even go out there and look for it. So it's really good to have people that's knowledgeable for sure. Definitely.
I
So
want
that's
to know more about this. Oh, go ahead.
oh sorry. So that's the one thing too that helps me a lot. Like always try to be a learner and try to like just see what other people know and not try to go in a situation knowing that you know, because you may find out that you don't know everything, you know. So it's good.
I'm a witness. I want to hear more about this banana pudding cheesecake bread.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny that you asked that because God is good. This past weekend, TJ Maxx reached out to me and wanted me to bring some sample products. But one of their associates that worked there, she had my items before and I brought the cupcakes. She was like, "Oh, I'm so happy you brought these cupcakes, but I was hoping you was gonna bring some of that cheesecake bread that you be making." I was like, "Oh my goodness. Yeah, I haven't made that in a while. I probably should make some too." But so basically, it's like your typical banana bread, except me being me liking flavor. I kind of try to pump it up a little bit more buttery, a little bit more. I put a little bit, probably a little too much cinnamon in mine, some nutmeg, brown sugar, your typical bread, but you know, cotrified, real sweet. Then I have like a cheesecake filling that goes in the middle, but not not the kind that like the no bake, but an actual cheesecake filling that you have to bake. So that goes in the middle of the bread. Then I put another layer of the batter of regular banana bread on top of that, let it bake in the oven, and boom, banana cheesecake bread. Simple, it's that simple. But people talk about it like experiment, like, how did you do this?
I love it when it's like things that are simple and people are just like so amazed by it. Cause it's like at one point you're like, dang, I don't really have to do much, but at another point you're like, I guess this is kind of working out, and it's unique. It's unique to me, or unique to my business, and so that's a really good talking point too. When you go and you're like introducing yourself, you're like, "Hi, I make such and such and such, and I also have this, banana cheesecake bread." They're like, "Wait a minute, like Tamla, you ain't gonna just slide past this banana cheesecake bread. I need to know more about it." So that's a very good, selling point for you and your business. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, well, we'll take this time to say, hey, everyone out there, like, share, and comment on our YouTube page because that helps us with the algorithm, shows it to more people. Yes, please subscribe, share our information, and tell us what information you want us to cover on Tamala and Taylor's Treat Talk Tuesday.
So it is Sweet Fantasy Michigan at, oh, I'm just about to give you my Gmail. It is just Sweet Fantasy Michigan on Facebook, and it's _ Sweet Fantasy Michigan on Instagram, or you can just Google Sweet Fantasy Michigan and it'll take you to those social handles as well.
All right, excellent, excellent. I'm going to have one question, and maybe Taylor can take us out with her questions and all that great stuff. But what advice would you give to someone who is just starting a business, had an idea like you did over a year ago, and just haven't pushed that start button? What would you say to them?
What would I say to them? Though I went head in, then I kind of did my research a little after I started, once I figured out there's something I could do. But if I were you, I would definitely just off bat, just do your research, find out what do you need to do to 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 make it in that industry. And not only just research what you need to do, research your competition, see who's in your area that's already doing something that that you're thinking about doing. And if they are doing it, think of ways to make your product different. I don't want to say better because that sounds a bit condescending, but just try to figure out different ways to make your product different. Then with that, try to find a mentor or someone that has been in that particular industry. That's someone that has experience. One way you can do that, a great resource is LinkedIn. if you want to be a chef, just type chef and just see what people may pop up. Or you want to do freelance marketing, type freelance marketers. They don't have to be nowhere near you. They can be from a faraway land. They could be in a different country. They can be in a different state. And you'll be so surprised how many people are out there that are willing to help. And that's one thing I had to discover myself. Like, I was doing things all by myself, not asking too many questions, not, I had like a mentor that was just overall just into business, but no one that was in my particular industry. Then when I started opening my mouth and reaching out to people, things became a lot easier. So do not be afraid to reach out. And most importantly, whatever your belief system is, whatever your faith is, mine's particularly is God, definitely pray and, ask God to give you strength and to do things the right way at the right time. So yeah, that's the only advice I can really think of.
Well, I think that's the best advice, that I've heard in a very long time. So thank you for sharing,
Oh, you're
Arlene. Definitely. Taylor's back. You want to send us out, Taylor?
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on today and for talking with us. We have so many things that we could talk about too. Arlene is I guess you would say, the president of a book club that we are in. And we will put the link down below. We listen to a book. We read a book and we split up into different chapters. And so it's been going really well. And one thing that she is not saying is that she is very much into personal development, and that is a key thing if you're going to be self-reliant and be a business owner. And so we just want to just let you in on that. And like I said, I'll put the link down below. But thank you very much for coming on to our 5T podcast and hanging out with us. I really appreciate your presence and being here, and just thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I was overwhelmed when you was like, hey, you want to be on my podcast? I'm like, girl, I can talk. Now, I want to be on your podcast. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much, Tamala. It was a pleasure. It was so great to meet you. Hopefully we can stay connected as well. And hopefully I didn't talk too much, because as my say, girl, you can talk too much and you be spilling beans, just talking. So hopefully I didn't over talk, but thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to come on your lovely platform and just to share a little bit about myself.
Well, definitely you're going to be asked back. Okay. Let's just say that we're going to have you back on our show to talk some more. Okay. But definitely I appreciate you. You're a lovely person, a lovely spirit, and just can't wait to have you back. And I'm sure our audience feels the same way. And hopefully they can reach out to you and see how they can maybe order some items from you. And maybe if they're in a different part of the world, different part of the US, maybe that you can ship them out some items in the coming months.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And that being said, we are Tamala and Taylor, and this is our Treat Talk, and we are here every Tuesday. Make sure you like and share and subscribe. I'm Taylor from Albion, Michigan. My company is Taylor's Kitchen, and where we make custom sweet treats for your special occasions. We can be found on all social media platforms at Sweet Spirit Treats. And over to Tamala.
Yes, and I am Tamala, owner of Torlitas, for that sweet and crunchy taste. If you want to know more about me and my business, go to @Torlitas. That's T as in Tuesday, ORLITAS.
All right, now have a blessed week, guys.